We start with some Steelers news. And speaking of DBs, they re-signed safety Terrell Edmunds on a team-friendly deal, 1 year, $2.5 million, a very savvy move by the Steelers front office. They saved themselves some coin as well. I love this deal for both sides. Very team-friendly deal. 1 year prove-it deal for Edmunds. But what was your reaction to hear that he will be back, the 4-year starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, team-friendly for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But if I'm Edmunds, I'm mad as hell. And the reason why, man, that market, that free agency market, Mark, it lets you know how teams really feel about you. That's exactly what it does. If you think you're good and you hit that market and don't nobody really want to give you the money, then you try to get your agent to say, man, teams trying to overprice or teams ain't want to give you what you want. Nah, they don't like you like that. But for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he just came back home. That's all it was. You know, they're familiar with him. He's familiar with Pittsburgh. He's familiar with the defense. He's familiar with the city. So, I mean, I guess he wanted to test the waters and see what he can get on the open market. But the open market wasn't open for him. But for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it just gives them enough depth at that safety position. And I still think they're going to draft the safety later on in the rounds.
Yeah, I don't think as big a priority needs to be on the safety position for the Steelers. But Edmunds, who is the top pick in the 2018 draft for the team, has started 60 of 64 games in the past 4 years. He's only missed 1 game in the process. He's not a star player, but he is reliable. I think he played his best season in the 2021 season. He had 89 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, 6 pass breakups. He had offers from the Dolphins and the Bengals, but he elects to stay with the Steelers. Now, Steelers, again, the reason I say it's a savvy move is if they would have picked up his 5th-year option, they would have owed Edmunds $6.75 million. They get him back at $2.5 million. So they save some money there. But Edmunds, if he continues to play well, like, look, every player is not going to be a star player, but he is reliable. I like the way he pairs with Minkah Fitzpatrick. To me, this was a nice signing by the Steelers. It fills a hole. And now you can prioritize other needs that you have in this week's draft.
Yeah, availability is the best ability. And that's one thing you can say about Edmunds, regardless on how you feel about his play. Like, he's always available. So if you're always available, man, at least you're giving yourself a chance. At least you showing your team, your teammates, and your coaching staff, like, hey, man, if I got to play 80 games, I'll probably make 79 out of the 80 games, and I like my percentage, you know. So he ain't doing nothing but just getting better to keep it 100, which I agree with you. What you first said, 2021 was his best season, but usually when it's payday season, people do play their best season when it's time to get that money. So we'll see what happens this year. Pittsburgh always have been savvy. Whether it's the front office, whether it's doing contracts, they didn't want to pay him that 5th-year deal. They let him go. They knew what it was on the market, and they brought him back for the dirt.
No, Ike, you're right, because more than 4,000 snaps played. Pick 6, they had a graphic up of the safeties that allow the lowest passer rating. Edmunds was 4th on that list behind Jordan Poyer, Quandre Diggs, and Jordan Whitehead. Edmunds was 4th. So again, a very reliable player, not a star player, maybe not what you'd expect from a 1st-round draft pick, but again, not every player is going to be a star. And at $2.5 million, 25 years old, tremendous value by the Steelers. We'll see what happens. And if he balls out in the 2022 season, maybe he does get that payday that he seeks next offseason.